balloon, that's what they're calling it, a Chinese balloon that was filmed over Billings, Montana. There's lots of, if I clicked into the news stories, and I'm sure you've clicked into the news, or even on like this, on your phone and stuff, you can see what the headlines are. That's what they're all talking about. Committees in the government and stuff. What are they going to do about this balloon that's up there in the sky, floating around in Class E airspace? Because that's what it is. And when it's really high up there like that, that's like Class E. And airplanes themselves, commercial airplanes, they don't rarely fly 60,000 feet up in the sky. I think the most they can go maybe is 50,000 or something like that. You all, I'm not a airline pilot or anything, but satellites, they're way, way up there too, you all. So really, what's carrying this thing up there? And is it really a spy balloon? Well, if it is a spy balloon, well, who's doing the spying? Ask yourself, who's doing the spying? Is it the Chinese government, like they're saying? Because they're denying they're not doing it, but they're kind of leery of the direction that spy balloon, what they're calling it, is going. If you read through the comment section on the spy balloon, hello, good morning, everyone. If you read through, Shalom, the comments on that spy balloon thing, there's lots of comments, there's lots of theories out there what they're doing. Somebody said that there's something happening over Montana. They're spying on these groups that are doing stuff in the mountains, in the mountains of Montana, in the woods and stuff. Of course, that'd be very cold right now, I think, this time of year. It really would be, but really. And then they were, like on the news, you notice they listed all the places where there's missiles, where there's Army, I don't know, nuclear plants and things like that. And then they had to talk about who owns the territory along that path of that spy balloon. Chinese balloon is what they're calling it. I think it's probably a UFO. There's something else going on behind the scenes. If you read the other headlines in all the other countries in the world, they got the largest strikes in a decade happening in the UK. And then it's mind-boggling how all of a sudden this comes up, and then they're negotiating the debt ceiling too at this time behind closed doors. So really, what the world is turned upside down, really, when we have all the news media. You have the Pentagon Brigadier General talking about a balloon in the sky, you all. Have you ever thought you would hear that again? A balloon in the sky. It kind of reminds like a Roswell thing, really, when the Roswell, and it shows the people in the military just having this balloon on the floor and they're going over it. First, the military said, yeah, it's a UFO. And then, no, it's just a balloon. It's just a balloon. Is it really just a balloon up there? Are we going to be seeing images when they say, everybody's saying, shoot down the balloon? Shoot down the balloon, you all. Shoot it down. And that's what they're saying. By the way, this chat is being automatic cutting of the chat. They're automatically cutting it, dropping people in and dropping people off is what they're doing, you all. There's something serious happening. There really is. And at one point, this topic right here too, of the balloon-like object, that will fade out of the headlines. It will fade out of the headlines, and you won't see it in the headlines anymore. And something else is going to come and take the place of this Chinese balloon that's floating in the skies above. Some other headline will capture all the news media outlets, and people will be talking about that. But right now this is the main topic. The main topic, everybody's got to talk about the Chinese, the Chinese balloon, when we have UFOs, actual UFOs in the sky around the world. Some of them, they know who they belong to. Some of them probably belong to some top secret programs of government, but some of those could very well be of other races of beings, extraterrestrial races, interdimensional races, people, races within the earth, coming up from the ground, because as you know, in Hawaii, the cylinder-shaped pods, they come down from the sky and they go into the shafts in the ground. And there's also been documented UFOs coming out of volcanoes. So we really do got a whole new world in when you think about UFOs and stuff like that. See, we're above ground. Humans are above ground, but we got something below ground too. We've got something from out there also. Good morning. How do we know? I don't know how they know, but you know what you can do with technology? You could obscure and you could tweak what's up there in the sky and you can make it look like whatever. You know, they got the deep fake videos too. Deep fake videos where you could say they wanted to make a deep fake of me and have me saying something that is way, way, way out there. And you know, I'd never say that, but then it looks exactly like me. It's mimicked my voice and it makes it appear as if it's me, like a deep fake. They can do that. You can doctor videos. You can. If you have a nice green screen, you can do it all. You can. Am I saying that they did that? No, but it is with the technology today. Absolutely, you could do something like that. And somebody said, well, then that's Project Bluebeam. Well, the thing is, there is something up there in the sky, and they're calling it a balloon, and it very well may not be a balloon, you all, at all. And if it is, there's something on it. And why did he have to say it's got a payload on it? A payload on that balloon way up there in the sky in the Class E airspace. And they got their missiles. They said their missiles can reach that balloon up there and shoot it down. But they thinking maybe we can just shoot it down, you know, in the Atlantic. Well, where are you going to shoot it down? Are you going to shoot it down at Point Nemo, where Cthulhu is said to be? The Point Nemo. That's where they put all the stuff that comes down. That's if it would even fly over that, you all. This space balloon, they said it can go up and down. How can it go up, change its trajectory? How can it go up and down? And the Pentagon press secretary, he would not address that. He said it's able to maneuver. And he wouldn't say how it could go up and down like that. You know that they can put their drones in the sky. They can put their own drones in the sky, their own satellite stuff, and they can zoom up like that. They know exactly what's up there. You can get a lot better picture than that. Even with all these other like UFOs that are up there, they can zoom up. They know exactly what's going on. It's like eyes all around the world is what they got. Eyes all around the world. It had a payload the size of 2 city buses. Great Awakening team in Denmark. That's right. A huge explosion. Was there really a Dirty Dozens? Did they have a huge explosion in the Montana sky last night? Meet me in Montana. I want to see the mountains in my eyes. That song, I liked that song when I was younger. Meet me in Montana. Yeah. They told us that China sent it over here. Yeah. That's the good ploy right there. Just blame it on China. And by the way, the trade with China, when I was looking at the other headlines, the trade with China is at the highest it's ever been. It really is the highest it has ever been. It's still continuing and stuff like that. So it's really never slowed down either. So why do they want to blame them when they're still doing lots of trade and stuff like that? Time to understand we've been bought by blood, bought and played for. We've been played too. We have. At least they are not blaming Russia. Yeah, they're not blaming Russia. Isn't that interesting? Although the last press briefing, they were asking the assistant deputy secretary, if you recall, you didn't watch that last Pentagon press briefing before this one. I forget the name of it. Sabrina. She was saying, they asked her, why do we got a Russian ship over here off the coast of Hawaii? Why do we got a Russian ship over here off the East Coast, over here in the, Atlantic Ocean, and we got one right over here? Well, there's no need to worry, she said. There's no need to worry at all. It's fine, more or less. They're watching it. They said, can you confirm that they have hypersonic missiles? No, I cannot confirm it. And then you go look at all the headlines. It's talking about hypersonic missiles coming from these ships, if they so desired. Yeah, hypersonic, because that's what type of ship it is. Boom, where they can launch within 625 miles from their ship to reach a mainland. That's right. There's other balloons in other countries. I saw that there was one, Nadine, in Latin America. And I think in Canada, they spoke about a balloon being in Canada also in the airspace. What if they're not just balloons? What if they're just making this stuff up? And this is just a what if. I'm not saying they are, but what if? What if it's something much greater, really? What if it is like UFO? What if it is something that they cannot stop? They can't shoot it down at all. They can't do any of that. Rosie, honey, what you doing? You getting up there in your little bed, honey? Okay, you can, no, I'm not going to play with you right now, Rosie, honey. You cannot. No, you go up there and you go to sleep. You go watch the birds. Yeah, I'm not going to play with Rosie right now. She needs to get up there and rest. She's been playing all day long. The Russian ship woman pilot at the space. Yeah, someone also said like that balloon in the comment section. I saw a comment where they say the balloon was actually the International Space Station coming down. What they said, but that'd be really, well, what if it was? What if it was, you all? That'd be really wild. The International Space Station coming down out of orbit. If that day ever comes when they bring that down up there, you know that we really do, truly, there's something wrong up there in the space all over the world. You know something serious is wrong. And we know that there are battles taking place. Even when there ain't no thunder and lightning, you can see parts of the sky just flashing at night. In the wee hours of the morning, like flashing in the sky, because I think there's a technologically advanced weaponry up there, and I don't know if it's of this world. We have been invaded by the Trojan horse, Robert Smith. That's the thing is bigger than these forces. That's right, it's bigger than these forces. They're making people comfortable without seeing round objects in the sky. Well, they got to get the news out somehow, and I guess they got to get, like someone said, well, at least they're getting the people to look up in the skies. I'm sure a lot more people are going to be looking up. They really are. Looking up into the skies to see if they can see a balloon hovering over there. You all, let's think about this. If the airplanes, when the airplanes fly over my house, sometimes they fly really low and they're quite intimidating. And I'm thinking, you're not even a real airplane because they're literally right over my house. Probably not even, probably 300 feet above my house or 400. Yeah, I'm thinking, you way too low. You're barely clearing the trees over there as they come from the west. And sometimes, when the weather's bad, these planes will fly from the north. They fly over so low. And this was really strange at times, too. When I would work second shift, I would come home at night. And the first thing I ever knew about this, I asked my daughter, I said, are these planes flying late at night? I never knew they did. She goes, oh, yeah. Sometimes they fly way late at night. And there's just like row after row after row after row of planes. They would come in every minute. One night I documented it on the Facebook. It was a constant inflow from the north to the south, flying low. Over there from the east, they looked like commercial airliners, but were they? Were they? They just kept flowing every single minute. So there is something up there. This is serious. Whatever's taking place, it's really serious for them to come on there and say that there is a Chinese balloon in the sky, even though they may just be saying it's a Chinese balloon, but to come on there and the seriousness of the Pentagon press secretary. Did you watch his chest? His chest was going. That's what he's doing, and his face was red. When I zoomed up on his face was red. I don't know if they tried to put some makeup on him or not, but he was red all through here. His blood pressure was up. It was up when he was doing that, and he maintained his composure. He maintained his composure. So we were this close to the nuclear war was when the aliens intervened also. Ken Swallow, wow, that's really interesting. Thank you for putting it on there, you all. I don't know what you've been seeing. There's a lot of people who surf the World Wide Web, and they're really good. The places, the nooks and crannies they can find with all different types of information. I saw where some person said it's a comet. Isn't it interesting? The green comet flies by, and now all of a sudden we got the Chinese weather balloon. What if that green comet what if, as it was flying by, it dropped things off? Because it wasn't a comet. What if it had little things that it just dispersed in its flight track? Really, what if it was something like that all over the world? It could have done that. They've been trying to start a war for a long time, and they've been stopped a lot. Isn't that interesting? They've been stopped a whole lot because we don't want war. I don't want war. Do you want war? You're talking about your life being disrupted. You think it's disrupted now when you talk about war, it's severely disrupted. It's like complete lockdown, complete military blocking off the streets. That's how it was in Berlin when the first Middle East war started back in the late 89s. They shut down all the schools in West Berlin where we were at. They had buses and military vehicles surrounding bumper to bumper the elementary school that was near our housing complex in Germany. And they had army tanks positioned in the center of each military housing area with a guy with a M16 sitting on top. They had military police or infantrymen at the entrance of the commissary, the BX, all of the stores, and you had to show your ID to even get into the stores. They had these infantrymen at the entrances, every single entrance to our housing complex. We had to show ID just to even walk on the sidewalks to get to our, whatever you want to call those big duplex buildings. Then, before we could even get inside our duplex building, of course, there was a big army tank sitting out there. There was another military police-like infantry person standing there with his gun. We had to show that we lived in that building. That's how locked down it was. And this lasted for a long time. And yeah, it's nothing, that was serious. I had my daughter, she was like maybe two and a half. I had just had my baby. Well, no, I was pregnant with my son at the time. And I remember they sent all the doctors, the military doctors, they got sent overseas. And I had to go to the German doctor along with all the other military wives there. And then I had my son in the Krankenhaus. It was really strange. It really was, but it was a wonderful experience, and I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I wouldn't. I would not trade the life we had in the military for anything. It was a truly growing experience, not just for me and my husband and my children. It was wonderful. I wouldn't trade it for anything, and it's a hard life. It's an exciting life. You get to meet people from all walks of life. You do, but still, nobody wanted that. We didn't want that. War. Like even in Hawaii, when we was in Hawaii, they would send people over there. I remember having to watch this one lady's bird. Her bird. Yeah, it was a really exotic bird. And yeah, we had to watch it for like 2 or 3 months until she came back. But yeah, this is nothing to blink at. When they're on TV and you got everybody talking about it, oh, this is really serious. This is a serious escalation of the invasion of our airspace, even though no one owns the airspace up there, they said. They don't own it. But the mere fact they're over the country, over the United States, and like the mere fact they're over Latin America and in Canada, way up there in that airspace, that is rather alarming, no matter if it's like balloons or if it's UFOs and they're really bringing it out into the opening. It's a heads up that something's coming or something's playing on behind the scenes. Yes, love wins out in the end. That's the big question. What's really going on? Oh, you're going to find out. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more things that are put out there as to what's going on. And I like to come on here so you all can have a chance to, share what you think's going on and talk with one another, because it is important to talk about stuff like this, even though they're saying it's a Chinese balloon, because it is important. An egg balloon operation. Was there something about an egg? Eggs? Is that a, I don't know what they would call that. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah, you all, please don't forget to hit that like button like that. Will it make a difference? I don't know. At least you'll be doing something. You'll be doing something to make a difference, even though we can't do very much right now. I mean, we can get on here on social media and we can talk back and forth, communicating. That's the difference, other than just sitting there and just twiddling our thumbs and separating ourselves and not speaking with one another. We got to connect with each other. We really do, because we're in it. We're here. We're in this all together. Nobody's exiting this earth right now. I don't see any UFOs coming down and beaming us up right now. I don't. And some people say, well, you expect UFOs to save you. Nothing's going to save you. Yeah. You got to save yourself. That's another theory. Save yourself. In that case, you better have some strong ties with people, unbreakable ties. And they better be like-minded individual, or you're in trouble, or you're going to have a mutiny on your hands. You would have a mutiny on your hands, you Naruka, someone last night in Montana did a video of a line of smoke coming down. Oh, a line of smoke coming down from the sky. Isn't that interesting? I haven't been over to my Facebook this morning in the comment section. I'll look for it. Yeah, that means something fell from the sky. And when they shoot things down from the sky, really, if you've seen it, like movies or other things, it does. It, like, you can see the trail as it's falling. Like when, like, they launch stuff and there's a failed launch and things fall from the upper atmosphere, boom, it leaves in a trail behind. Something's up there. I hope that we don't start firing missiles up there in the sky. Just think, a missile. A missile's rather dramatic, don't you think? It's rather large to fire at a balloon up there. And if it was carrying a payload and they fired it, you can have something in the airspace above a country in a certain region, and you can detonate a device and you will knock out, it'll be an EMP, you knock out the power to the whole entire area right there. You can do that. I read about that years and years ago. First they were tracking North Korea satellite. North Korea was in there, and they would go over certain areas. And I used to watch it on this app this website where you could watch them and track them. And they could do that. They could detonate. That was one of their things. They would detonate a bomb, a device, over a certain part of the United States and do an EMP and knock part of that grid out. Like that. Yes, there's many balloons all around the world, but these ain't hot air balloons either. See, this is different. Oh, I was going to say earlier, it's hard. I was talking about the airplanes. When you're up there and you see an airplane flying way up there in the sky, they have these little teeny, they're not teeny, but they look really teeny. An airplane is enormous. Even a commercial airliner is enormous. And even if they're up there in the sky, so high up in the sky, if they're really high up, they look like this big right here because you really can't see them. So if that balloon is teeny tiny, how would you even see it? If it's 60,000 feet up there in the airspace, if it's teeny tiny, I don't know if you'd be able to see it really, because it's kind of hard when the airplanes are way up there flying. How are you going to see those? Yeah. You wouldn't, it'd be hard unless it came down for that person to see that object. That balloon would have had to been down low enough to zoom up on it. And he had to have, if he just had his cell phone, well, your cell phone can zoom up pretty far, but not far enough. Even with these stars in the sky, you all, even if there was an airplane to fly over, I mean, I could zoom up, but I wouldn't get really close. So that balloon, it had to be really low in the sky for him to get that type of video footage. Much lower than a commercial airliner is what I think. Luftballons incoming red. It's really weird that they're not doing anything about this. Maybe they've been told to stand down. Stand down, because you can get orders like that in the military. Stand down. They can give that to special operations. Stand down. Even though you know what you need to do to stop something from happening, when they give the order to stand down, you can't do nothing. Unless you're one of those rogue individuals who thinking, oh yeah, you're going to tell me to stand down and I see this threat right here. I'm going to disobey orders and I'm going to take out that threat right there. You can have people who will do that, I guess. Yeah, it makes of the movie Invasion. I've not, you love war? War is a part of life. I don't like war. Some people say, oh, it's so exciting and stuff like that to be in war. What about peace? Peace is exciting. It is, because you can get on, you can get on with your life. You can, but there is a time for war and a time for peace. There is. You can't always have a world full of peace, because war has to always seep back in and disrupt that peace. It may have nuke material on it. If they were to shoot it down, boom, you're sure to do the stuff. Spread it all over and just let it get circulating in the air. Let's get it in the currents up there. Yeah, just let it travel, like they say the red dust does from the Sahara. It travels around in the air. As you think you got these, the things that come from the airplanes, the little white trails and stuff like that, how they just expand like that. And sometimes people find layers of stuff on their car from up there in the sky. Yeah, EMP. Okay, if all of a sudden you're driving in your car, or you're just talking on your cell phone, and all of a sudden your car stops in the middle of the highway, and noticing other people's car stops, and the electronics are all fried in your car, you've had an EMP attack, because it will fry your components in your car. It has shut your car down. And if you pick up your cell phone and you want to try to make a call and your phone is dead, yeah, you have just encountered an EMP, and now you gotta have a plan how you gonna get home. What you gonna do? Because everybody's gonna be standing out in their car. They're gonna be looking around. Is this temporary? What's going on? Oh, if you're looking around, and you see all these cars coming to a screeching halt, and you see all these wrecks, and your cell phones don't work. You just had an EMP attack, and you might want to try to find a way to get home. That's why you need to have a bug out bag in your car. Really, I'm serious. A bug out bag in your car. And if you go to a job where you have to wear heels, or you like to dress up, I hope you have some comfortable shoes in your bug out bag. I really do, because you're going to need it. Bug out bag, some comfortable shoes, maybe a change of clothing for the whatever. Don't be going out of your house without putting something together. Just like, if you take a little one night trip and you stay in a hotel overnight, you're going to pack a little suitcase. Think about that in your vehicle. Something that you don't even have to have a suitcase. You can have a pillowcase, stuff your stuff in a pillowcase. Stuff it in a trash bag or a grocery bag. You have something for yourself. If you got a backpack, do a backpack. You don't want to be caught off guard. You want to get home, or you want to get to a safe place, because everybody else is going to be moving too, and you may have far to walk. And of course, there's other things you could put in a bug out bag if there was an EMP or any other type of event. Yeah. Your car won't run. Yeah, it won't. And some people, they have another mode of transportation. Maybe they have a fold-up bicycle. I thought about getting that one time, because there was this guy who would ride his bicycle to work, and he had one that would fold up. Thought, wow, that's really nice. But then you would be a target. They'd pull you off that bicycle you are, and they would get your bicycle. They would take your bicycle away from you. Your best bet is if you could, well, I guess you could have one, but on foot, because if a lot of people are out of shape, they ain't gonna want to do what you do, because they ain't gonna be able to keep up with you if you're out of shape. You're not gonna be going through the woods. You're not. Yeah, a bicycle is a great idea. It is, Naruka. I have several bicycles. at my house, even though where can I ride it around here on the country roads and get ran over by a car? Yeah, but they got bike paths and stuff. We used to ride our bikes all the time in Germany because they had wonderful bike paths in Berlin. They made them, and it was really nice until we got chased by one of those wild boar-like things in the woods. Yeah, that's not nice if you got a wild boar coming after you. They lost the most adversary weapons and surveillance systems categorized and identified. Oh, is there something about the Super Bowl now? John Black and Rihanna, is she at the Super Bowl? When is the Super Bowl, you all? I don't watch sports. But I know that their ceremonies are rather alarming, the ceremonies that they have. They're like the CERN ceremonies, really, if you think about it. Kind of like CERN ceremonies at the Super Bowl. It's kind of weird. Electromagnetic pulse, that's right. What's we got? Some an egg ritual. You ride your bike and don't go too fast and you don't go far. Ulysses the Dragon. Good morning, everyone. Oh, hey, wasn't there a movie about like something like that over a game and it exploded or something? Was there a movie like something like that? Of course, I didn't watch it, but I think I remember seeing something like that. You like riding your bike? Oh, that's wonderful. The Iron Man finisher of Hawaii. You did a mini triathlon, nothing like it. That's wonderful. There are people who love doing that, and it's great. Not everybody can do it. They can't. Not everybody has that drive within them to want to do something like that. Yeah. Hello in Canada. You are in cold Hamilton. Oh, I thought that was like a new, a code, I don't know, the threat level. Code red, Delta, Alpha, Bravo, something like that. They are not giving. They said that you got eyes to see. You can look up and see for yourself. That's what he said. You can see for yourself. That's what he said. But if you don't have the tools, if you don't know how to track it, and if they don't want you seeing something in the airspace up there, if they got cloaking technology or something like that, they can make it to where you will not see them on the radar at all, because we have UFOs that are flying around in the sky and they don't show up on the radar. And the military has, all the militaries have things on them where they can keep from being seen by radar if they so desired. You ever see those great big airplanes? They have these great big circle things on them, massive circles underneath them or over top of them, but they got a great big circle on them. It's really wild. Super Bowl is the February the 12th. Yeah. Halftime is not appropriate. No location info means they can hide mini balloons. That's true. Mini. I was thinking if I had a deja vu because of that statement right there. There's lots of things hiding in the sky. If you see through the chemtrails, please share for all of us. You looked at 60-degree zonal winds, a little 90,000 feet, 42 miles per hour or so up there like that. You're fine. It has an EMP on it, and they were talking about these things 7 years ago. Yeah. And what if it's not China? What if it's something else? Well, they need somebody to do it. In the meantime, they're wanting to revive retirement age in, I forget the country, and there's a lot of unrest about it. Make people work longer than you work now. Like here, you can retire at 62, 65, and maybe 67. I remember years ago, Alan Greenspan wanted people to work till they're 72 years old. I don't know what they're trying to change the retirement age to, and whatever country is in an uproar over it. Your daughter did the half Ironman in 2015, and you only did the mini triathlon with running. You love to be in nature. That's wonderful. 67. It's in France. Okay. Is that with Macron? Is that his name, Macron or something? The same one in Costa Rica. The red balloon, 99 red balloons go by. Everyone's a superhero. Everyone's a Captain Kirk. Yeah. They are strange. They're very, very strange. Mustafa, hello. Yeah, it does mean a lot to come together, you all. It really is. You don't get chemtrails, Dave Edwards. It's not populated enough. That's interesting, isn't it? Really, if you think about it, it's not populated enough. Rosie Honey gave up. Her decided her wanted to go to sleep. Rosie Honey, you go to sleep. You can do it. You can. You did. She said, let me have some sleep. Okay, you can have it. Yeah, hello, everyone. So with these updates of this balloon, it's all over the news. It is, and everybody's talking about it. It is the main topic right now. And so far, how many balloons have been documented? Is it like 3 balloons? United States, Canada, and Latin America? Because we want to get an update on that, because I don't know how many balloons they have documented and put it out there. 3. Okay, so we got to look for some more to show up too. And I don't know what Latin America did to anybody. I don't. If they're in there in Latin America, what's there to take out in there if it was like an EMP? What if they do it all over the world? But the military wanted to battle harden all their assets. And remember with the Pentagon press secretary, this is really interesting too. They were not on their regular set. They were in a makeshift area, and you could tell there was like a green screen behind the deputy press secretary. A green screen because as he was standing there, you could see they were moving the background up and down a tad bit, and you could hear people walking in a hallway or something. I don't know where they were. I have no idea where they were, but he was not in his normal thing. They were having major renovation taking place. They could have even been downstairs in an underground bunker. As far as we know, wherever he was broadcasting from, they could have, because that was rather sudden. It really was. An alternate room by the Pentagon room is being renovated. Yeah. Yeah, somebody wrote something about you monkey works. I don't know. But you can do that if you've got like a green screen. You can just pull up your green screen and just project your image on it. Yeah. Hello, Apple Brooks. So is it more than just a balloon, really? Is it? What's it doing up there regardless? It's in at least Class E airspace up there in the sky. And for that video to be captured, that thing had to be lower than 60,000 feet. Really, what did you say on here? Someone who said they were a, I don't know, you said something about 90,000 feet. And at 90,000 feet, it would go 42 miles an hour. What, I can't remember. What did you say? Somebody was on here and something about they were some type of person about it. Yeah, what did the space station observe? It just kept going around. Does it go around? Yeah. I know that there's another one in Australia right now, Mini Baby 2026. Another one in Australia. He launched the balloons. Um, we're at 5, Nadine. There's 5 balloons now. Really? Wow. Thank you, Nadine. Retrieve and carefully disassemble, I heard. Don't shoot it. Um, multi, what's the purpose? It's, yeah. The prophecies, 94. Why do you say, oh, what if that is true? 94 to go, and we say 99 red, red China. David, you could say red China, 99 red balloons. It's kind of not nice. Who would have thought an alien invasion would be by balloons? Yeah, it's like something different. Unless there are a different type of a life form up there, really. Totally different type of a life form. Weather balloons and stuff. Bioweapons, 90 ride, yeah. 10 days in Central Oregon. See, I said if they are more, Ulysses, we need to prepare. Project Loon, it's a weather balloon. When you saw it in the Pepsi semis, you got mad. You also, is there any like more updates on here? Hey, I wonder if there's any ham radios out there. So the ham radios, they can bounce the stuff off the atmosphere. They can pick up communications that you normally couldn't pick up. You can talk to somebody over the world. I wonder if they're picking stuff up like that too. They can, you all. They can pick stuff up. The iPet Goat 2 shows all of that also. Dare. Oh, heard last night the military said they're picking up radioactive stuff. Oh no. NASA, DARPA? You talking about DARPA? The Japanese spending balloons during the, oh wow. Heavy spray in Colorado. He was a meteorologist. That's right, a meteorologist, and I don't know where he went. So we had a meteorologist said something about 90,000 feet up in the air and something traveling 42 miles per hour is what he said in the comments. You'll have to go up if the Google algorithm did not take out his comment, because sometimes people will write comments, and there's 2 in Hawaii. The Google algorithm will sift through the comments, and they will take them out, and they'll disappear. And it's not us deleting them. If you've been trying to get a comment on here any other time, and you keep trying and trying, it disappears. It's not us doing it. Sometimes it's the Google algorithm that do it. They disappear, yeah. Good morning, you all. So we're talking about these balloons that are up there in the sky. So there's 5 balloons, so now there's 7. Is there 7 balloons, you all? You've been taking pictures, every comment you put on here. Oh, wow, that's good, Nairuka. That way you can prove you commented on it. You shouldn't shoot it because there could be something up there. We're going to have volcanoes blowing up. Project Loon. Are you saying Project Loon or are you saying Project Blue Beam? Because that's something different too. When you refresh it, you get them back. That's wonderful. Get on YouTube for the information about laboons. Oh, balloons. The news stations are keeping up on them. The hundreds of UFOs flying underneath the space station heading toward Antarctica. I saw something about that also. Project, okay, well, I thought that sounded kind of loony, but I guess it's real. Project Loon. The button is hit because you notice some of them, yeah. They don't need to use balloons for surveillance. No, they do not. They don't. Because they got drones now. What was the Pentagon secretary. No, they had created a new position in the technology intelligence area of the Air Force for unmanned aerial phenomenons. And this staff sergeant, or Sergeant Mickey, was his name Mickey or something? He created and designed some type of drone-like thing, and they were fast tracking it to where they could get it duplicated within, it's like a 90-day thing, get it out there by Operation Red Storm, which would be in January for the prototype to try it out. But it was fast tracked, and they wanted to have it up and going. It was a new branch that was created. They said, so in one area where you would have like one ship patrolling a big, vast area of a body of water, we could have millions of drones. I think she said millions or thousands of drones doing that job that one could do. Same way with the police. You have police cars, lots of police cars. You could have the drones doing what the police cars can't do. So that was a fast tracking thing. That was like 3 Pentagon press, Terry. I think that was like 3 or 4 Pentagon press briefings ago. I do have a playlist on here called Pentagon Press Briefings. And you should maybe want to look at those. I don't know if I stuck that one last night in the Pentagon press briefing. If I didn't, I'm going to. They may be away. There's more of them up there, you all. So we got a total of 5 so far. And then someone said there was 2 more. Was there 2 in Hawaii? The Schumann resonance is spiking hourly for 24 hours. It's on an upward spike. Oh, wow. Something. I wonder if they've opened up a portal. Or I wonder if the magnetic field is being brought low. I wonder if China's magnetic field has been ramped up too, because they have a magnetic field 1,000,000 times more stronger than Earth's. And so does the place in Florida too. I forget what the place in Florida. They have the Fermi Lab in Florida. They have big magnetic field too. It's like 44 Tesla or something like that. Tesla. CERN doesn't have, but maybe, I don't know, 16 Tesla or something like that. Earth don't even have a 1 Tesla magnetic field. It's a naturally occurring magnetic field. And then, they said the core of the Earth stopped. Just think of all the past headlines we've heard about. The core of the Earth has stopped spinning. We're getting ready for a flip. If you think about it, the Earth is getting ready to flip. If the Earth is getting ready to flip, well, what would the balloons have anything to do with it, really? If you look back on the headlines, the things that truly did make headlines, and everybody was talking about them, but it wasn't dire enough for the military to come on here and say, oh, by the way, the Earth's core has stopped spinning. We're about to flip. No, they didn't. But the news people were talking about that a little. You got 3 balloons now in Canada. 3 Canada, South America. There was 5. Nadine said she heard about 5. Was there 2 other in Hawaii? Was that where the 2 other ones was? Yeah, the balloons are a distraction, you all. You got to look at what's not being said. Got to do the research. It's slowed down. Well, it was years ago where they said the South Atlantic current had already it was already reversed. It was reversing already. That was years ago, probably back in around 2014 or so, the South Atlantic. It started its reversal, and they were waiting for the North Atlantic thing to start its reversal. But as they say, it's naturally occurring every so often. The EMP attack, China said, is how they do it with the balloons. Okay, so it's on the mainstream. The poles, how the poles fit into this right here. Put in tinfoil things. Now, Ruka, I thought about doing that. Put tinfoil hat. It had to be maybe thick. If you ain't got tinfoil, maybe you can get go to the Dollar Tree. Go to the Dollar Tree, you all. They got the aluminum foil baking pans, like roaster pans or something like that. See, that's even heavier. Maybe you could make it fit really good. That'd be, but aluminum foil, I thought about doing it too. I really did. Because there's something to it. They wouldn't make fun of it if there wasn't something to it. Hawaii, Canada, Guam, Latin America, they are way more than they're telling us. There probably is way more than they're telling us. We are under an invasion. Is that what somebody said? The invasion is here. I did a video about that. Well, it's like the black cubes that showed up all of a sudden in somewhere between 2017 or 2018? The black cubes, they showed up in the Atlantic Ocean. Was it the Atlantic or South Pacific? South Pacific. You could even see them underwater. They gathered around one island, and there were trails of them in the water. You could see like a path of black cubes. And this is no joke. This is no make-believe and stuff like that. We've documented that too. It's advanced, some type of advanced technology out there, you all. Red Dawn. Todd, the movie Red Dawn, I hope we're not experiencing a Red Dawn. I really hope we're not. I only watched, did I even watch that? The only thing I remember with a Red Dawn was an Arnold Schwarzenegger. Isn't it strange how you get people who are put in positions and you think, how did they get put in that position? They don't even have experience, but really you don't need experience, really, I guess. Yeah, a newer way. They figured out to identify it and connect it. It seems crazy, you know, the feeling is 100% the sky people were so close. You remember you had commercial, oh, yes, New York. Okay, the New York. Thank you for bringing that up. New York had a commercial on there telling New Yorkers to prepare for, how to prepare for a nuclear attack. They were showing it on the news stations, and this was back several months back. It could have been like a half a year ago. And then there's been other headlines that are in other newspaper or news media talking about how would you prepare, how to prepare for a nuclear attack or a dirty thing, something like that. They got them on the buses too. They did it in LA. The Schumann resonance is now blocked out. You all, something's happening. It really is. Yeah, we forgot about New York. Yeah, they were really, and you know, what's the chance of surviving that? If something like that was to go off, I think you'd need at least, was it 6 inches of earth between you and that? But then your land would be, the outside would be radiated, and who could survive in that? What if the earth is going to be terraformed for a species? Really, what if it is? What if the earth is going to be terraformed for a UFO, alien species who, like Mars, the atmosphere on Mars, think about it. And they talk about the ozone, they talk about the climate, and you have all this methane gas coming out from the permafrost that's melting. It's releasing, and from the lakes in like Antarctic, it's releasing vast amounts of methane up into the upper atmosphere too. You know, you would think, they said that you could catch the atmosphere on fire, really, if it was the plasma apocalypse too. You all weird, what about that? It's time to weirdly slow, high pitch. You got weird high pitches in your ears. Have you been seeing lots of headlines now, lots of little tips? Oh, your ears ringing? How to stop the constant ringing in your ears. See, now it's coming out here in the open. But y'all, we're talking about the balloons in the sky. If anybody's got any updates. And for that person to get a video footage, it had to be lower than 60,000 feet, really. Think about it. Alexa, when it will start, it's November the 23rd of 2023. I heard about that. Airports shut down last month, and just recently they shut down some airports too. And they're blaming it on the systems. I know that they're doing systems upgrades all around the place, but it was sometime last week, someone else said another 1,000 flights were grounded. Why are the flights being grounded? You all think about it. Why are you grounding flights and saying that because the airlines have antiquated flight stuff, flight programs, flight software, antiquated systems, and they need upgraded? Why? Is there something more to it, really? The grounding of flights and things like that? Cold weather. I'm not in, I don't know about balloons in cold weather. The PSA said, in the event of a nuclear attack, to go inside and take a shower. Well, you had to shed all your clothing first. You had to have a containment area too. You go into this containment area. You take your clothes off. you shower, and I guess do whatever. But yeah, you'd have to have plastic to block off areas of your room. You wouldn't want any of it seeping in. You want to have some, I think, a potassium iodine, like I think I read in the event of something like that, like a 1-inch thing of the real potassium iodine across maybe your abdomen or something like that could help you from the effects of like a radiation or something like that. But there was something also that was occurring. There was a, okay, remember this. Okay, you all, we got to talk about this. This is important too. Remember, there's countries who are giving out pills to stockpiling pills in the event of a radioactive attack, is what they're doing, giving out stockpiles for their citizens in the event of a nuclear attack. Remember that? That's been in the headlines too, stockpiling it. But they can't get it to all the citizens. They can't, and that causes mutations. Mutations, radioactive stuff will cause your body to mutate. And if you remember the World Economic Forum, they said that in 2 years we will have a catastrophic mutating event. 2 years, catastrophic mutating event. Why would they say that, you all? It's all this happens. They just got through doing their meetings, like a week-long meetings about the future and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. So with this potassium iodine, there is a shortage of potassium iodine. Is it not the potassium iodine? What is that? Provident, I'm sorry, you all. Provident iodine, the red stuff that they put on wounds. Like a 1 thing of Provident iodine. You could put a 1-inch thing on your body, and it's supposed to help absorb whatever. So knock that potassium iodine out. I'm talking about the Provident iodine, the red stuff that they can put on wounds and stuff like that. I think there's a shortage of that too. Yeah. Mutations and the zombie apocalypse. It all has to fit in somehow. Diluted water and stuff on your body. Iodide, yeah. I can't remember the name of it. Thank you. Iodide. Yeah. That's what it was. You definitely know something else than upgrades, your professional opinion, and something much more else than upgrades going on. Yeah, there's something much more going on behind the scenes, you all. Yeah, I was all into that too, preparedness. I got survival books and stuff. I gave them to my children. I taught, this is what I taught my children how to, when I was homeschooling them, I thought we need to know how to make knots. Knots a la rope. So we would practice every day, and they'd make all kinds of knots with ropes, which is good because that could save you if you know how to make good knots. Salt, yes, salt. Is there a shortage of salt? Because if you look at times, you'll notice on the shelves, there's plain salt, which you would use for fermenting. You had to have plain salt. But then there is salt that has iodine in it also, but sometimes that's missing too. Pink salt. Could they release something? They could release something in the air. Yeah. Wow, Gaia Watcher. You have ringing of the ears, Nasadian iodine. You use rock salt. You also, the balloons, there's a total of 3 or 5 balloons in the sky, and there's lots of people on here who feel that there are much more than what they're letting us to believe in the sky. Much more balloons up there than they're saying. But they're keeping a close eye on it, and they don't want to, they got their missiles that they can shoot it down with, but it's got a payload on it. They know it's got some type of a payload on it, and they're just tracking it. And could they have been given the stand down order? Could they stand down? Because really, if you think about this, if it is a UFO up there and you know that UFO is slowly doing a surveillance and you shoot that down, that's an act of war. Remember the War of the Worlds and stuff like that? There was a time when all these UFOs were showing up in, what was it, Los Angeles? There was like all these UFOs, and the military was fighting the UFOs in the sky. Really? And then it all went hush hush. Oh, it never happened. They said it never happened. Just like that. It never happened. Yeah. Why aren't you shaving anymore? Is there something to not shaving no more? 1 for all for 1. What does that mean? To have the extra hair on your body is good? I know people when they swim, they don't shave their legs if they're a really good swimmer. It messed up your frequency. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Trust yourself in some invading airspace. Yeah, what? Yeah, you don't want to do that because these higher intelligence beings up there, there are higher technologically advanced beings that could just literally wipe us out. If they got the ability to fly to a nuclear plant and just shut it down or any other thing, stop it, you know that they're more powerful than you. And if there are truly beings living underground, like advanced civilizations of beings, and they thinking you done lost it up here on the surface, you're not going to destroy this world, they're going to come up in mass numbers, and you ain't going to do nothing. I said it's Nibiru. It did look like Nibiru. There's something else behind it other than what they say it was. Thank you for reminding me. Because if you look at the Wolf Creek Pass, and I did a video on it yesterday, you all, it was the perfect shape of what's showing up on that radar like that. Perfect shape like that. Behind it, it had an offset round object behind it. It's in the sky, okay? And if they're seeing things like this, if that object right there that they put out in the video, if that one has the round object around it, and it does, it has a small object, it's a perfect match for what's showing up on the FAA webcams. There's a reason why they had shut down the majority of FAA webcams all along the East Coast and in certain areas of the United States. When that first happened, when I was watching it, I was documenting it, they shut down all the webcams, the majority of them, because they don't want people seeing what's in the sky. So if that one, which it did, it was small and it had a great big circle around it behind, it was blended in. I think that was a doctored video, I really do, because it matches Wolf Creek Pass on the FAA webcam. Then they all have something like that. If they're all saying, oh, we got the same thing here, then there's something else like that up there too. Something else like that. Did the Borg have round spears that come out? Did it? Really think about it. Did the Borg have round spears that came out of it? Or is they just had cube spears? There was some kind of sci-fi movie that had round-like spears coming out of it, you all. Your hair is your antenna. That's true. That's why some people never cut their hair. Yes, something bigger. So, yeah, go look at it. Go look at the videos. Evil leaders. There's evil on the earth. There is. That's right. Towers. Machine guns on top of the towers? What? Canada military is flying. They shut off flights here in Canada, but the military is flying. Oh, somewhere in time. If the system's down, how could they fly? That's exactly right. Advanced race of beings in the sky, you all. The Y2K of the year 2000, yeah, when they shut everything down, and it didn't happen. The Y2K, we made the whatever thing. Did the Joker release the balloons in Batman? Oh, wow. You saw an orange ball. See, that's the greater thing right there. The orange balls that are in the sky, they're orange like spheres, and they've been seen all around the world. And if you go back to the UFO like accounts from people from years back and even now, there are orange like beings, things in the sky. Outside here in my house going down a grid line, it was a chain of them, and they were orange, and my son had saw them too. He said, he goes, at first I thought it was like Starlink, he said, but Starlink was white. We saw Starlink go down on the other side in the sky at night. Excuse me. And they were perfectly spaced, and they were white. But this thing, it was like last year, it was a great big long line of orange. And also, at the observatory, this is why I like the observatories, is I got a big playlist on the observatories. You can see these orange things on the observatories. They're lined up in a row, and they're orange. It's not military. It's not Elon Musk. No, it's not there. There's battles going on up there, too. And now we don't get to see no time lease as of the December the 7th. That was the last time we were able to document all the events that were happening on the 7 cameras that were being controlled by the Canada, France, Hawaii telescope that they were making available to the public. It was compressed into 48 seconds, the time lapse of the days, and they had 7 cameras that they would let the public look at, or 6 cameras that they would let the public look at, in addition to the Subaru telescope. They stopped it. We brought too much attention because we were starting to catch, there was an uptick in UFO activity at the observatories. It all started when they had the Mauna Kea, or whatever it was, the volcano thing. That's when we spotted the great big old bright area in the sky over the southern telescope, the southern camera right there. And it looked like a portal. It did, and there was lots of other things leading up to that. And then at one point, it had a rim around it. You can see it was like a UFO. It had a precise rim around it. You all should check out those observatory videos. That's when it all stopped. We were documenting that. People said, oh, no, that's the glow from the volcano. It was not the glow from the volcano. They had no reason to shut down their cameras, but they did. Now all you'll get is like 1 frame every so many, whatever. No time lapse ever. So something really is going on, you all. This is really serious with these spy balloons in the sky. You have the Pentagon press secretary coming on there, and he going, and his face is red. His blood pressure is rose. Oh yeah, this is very serious what's happening. Whether it be Chinese or another type of whatever, they are saying it has invaded the airspace, even though nobody owns the airspace above, is what they're saying. Drones were following last night. Yeah, he was. There's something going on. So, yes, you're talking about the Lucifer telescope. We don't hear much about that either. We don't. Yellowphone had a 5.2. We just need to be prepared. That's first and foremost. Be prepared. And what we're hearing and what we're seeing, there's a lot more to it. Okay, there is. We don't need to overthink, get spaced out, and, you know, panic. Awareness is the key to preparedness. It really is. We're aware of what's going on. We got like at least three, maybe 5 that's been spotted now. You may hear of more to come, because where there's one, there's more. There really is more. And it didn't just look like a weather balloon. It did look like the Wolf Creek Pass of the object that's in the sky. It looks kind of like a Nibiru thing, but it has a round circle and a larger circle that is offset on it as it goes across the FAA camera. And based on the video that was given by this guy, his strange name, said he filmed it in the sky. When I looked at it, I played it really slowly, and I saw the outline of what was behind what they said was the weather balloon like that. And it matched that other one perfectly, you all. So I am going to go. Thank you all for coming on here. It's good to come on here. We'll come back on here later today. But it's good to get all your comments here and be able to connect, because I'm sure throughout the day somebody's going to find some more information out. So with that being said, thank you. And hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, moderators. Thank you all for your